You already know how the internet works. Just toss in a bit of controversy and it's like throwing raw meat into a shark tank. And when it comes to Diddy, it's not just any meat, it's a full-on feast. His name has been everywhere, spinning through headlines non-stop lately. Every single week, a new layer of craziness unfolds. But just when you think the madness has reached its limit, bam, another bombshell drops. This time, it involves church, robes, celebrity pastors, and serious hush-hush whispers from the pulpit. Out of nowhere, Bishop T.D. Jakes, the mega-pastor and cultural icon, shocks everyone by announcing he's stepping down from leading the Potter's house. That news alone would have rocked the world.
They showed T.D. Jakes hanging out with Puff Daddy at his party.
My Lord, my Lord.
T.D. Jakes sitting right there at Puff Daddy's party while pole dancers are jumping up and down twerking, and Bishop sitting there.
My Lord.
He ain't telling.
World. And this isn't some small-town preacher. We're talking about a man who built a massive empire. T.D. Jakes is the very face of modern black spirituality. Viral sermons, best-selling books, film productions, even sermons airing on Revolt. His brand goes way beyond the church walls. He's been in the same rooms as presidents, celebrities, and kings. So yeah, when a figure that huge suddenly steps down without any heads up, people start connecting dots fast. And wouldn't you know it, comedian Monique swoops in like a spark to dry leaves. She's not buying the clean story about new ventures or health reasons. Nope. According to her, this wasn't some peaceful retirement. It was a forced exit. And the reason? The very same man stirring up every headline right now, Sean Diddy Combs. Now, Monique isn't exactly known for staying silent.
Look, what's gonna happen? Look at this. Look, T.D. Jakes, man, come on. He was at that party? Look, seriously?
She's been in the game long enough to know what really goes down behind the scenes, and she's dropping some heavy claims. Her take: Bishop Jakes didn't just casually know Diddy, he was deep in his circle. Too close for comfort. Close enough that the higher-ups at the Potter's house allegedly started sweating bullets when Diddy's legal battles blew up. The whispers say they pushed Bishop Jakes out before things got even messier. Basically, a clean exit before dirty laundry started spilling through the stained glass. And here's where it gets even hotter. Monique isn't just throwing shade, she claims she's got receipts. Real evidence. Not some cousin's barbershop friend rumor, but actual files, audios, screenshots, maybe even photos. The kind of proof you can't just brush off with a press release. And if what she's hinting at is legit, this whole situation runs way deeper than anyone expected. Let's rewind a bit. Diddy's been on a downward spiral lately. Lawsuits piling up, insiders stepping forward. The biggest shocker? Rodney Lil Rod Jones, one of Diddy's former producers, dropped a massive 98-page lawsuit in federal court. Jones didn't just accuse Diddy of hostile behavior, he named big players. Bishop Jakes wasn't a defendant, but his name popped, up enough to get everyone talking. According to the suit, after Cassie Ventura hit Diddy with her own legal salvo, Diddy scrambled to fix his image. And who did he allegedly turn to? Bishop Jakes, the man with spiritual credibility and cultural clout. Jones claims Diddy wanted to use Jake as a buffer, someone to soften the public fallout. That connection alone lit the fuse. Once your name shows up in a federal lawsuit, even indirectly, you're in the splash zone. But it didn't stop there. Around the same time all this legal mess was blowing up, old clips resurfaced. The loudest? A video showing T.D. Jakes front and center at Diddy's lavish 53rd birthday bash in L.A. Sure, celebs show up at other celebs' parties all the time, but this wasn't just a quick hello. People watched that video like it was a blockbuster. The lighting, the smiles, the mingling, all A-listers, all dripping in luxury. The real problem wasn't just Jakes showing up. It's what those parties are known for. Diddy's parties have a reputation. Wild behavior, heavy vices, and let's just say things that don't line up with Sunday school. So, when a high-profile bishop is caught looking right at home in that scene, questions start flying. Jakes' team scrambled. Derek Williams, EVP of TD Jakes Entertainment, jumped in with damage control. According to him, Jake was in LA for business, and the party stop was just a respectful drop-by. Say happy birthday, shoot a quick video, then leave. That's the official story. But not everyone's buying it. Because let's be real, if you're trying to dodge controversy, why walk into one of the most scrutinized events of the year? Then, out of nowhere, Jakes drops his big announcement. He's stepping down. No scandal, no incident, just a clean exit. But the timing, that's what has everyone suspicious. Right before Diddy's trial kicks off, right as his name starts popping up all over social media, right after people start digging up old footage and posts. Coincidence? Most folks don't think so. So, now we're deep in it. TD Jakes steps down. Diddy's trial inches closer. Monique's on a verbal tear, promising to spill all the tea. And the streets, they're connecting dots faster than church. Ladies gossip over Sunday brunch. This isn't just about a pastor quitting. It's about what he might be running from. Because here's the thing. Whispers are turning into full-blown conversations. And the heat? It's only getting hotter. According to Monique, who's clearly not scared of anyone, this isn't just about protecting a ministry. It's about protecting a legacy. Monique is straight up saying Jake didn't walk away by choice. She's painting a picture of a man who saw a PR disaster heading his way and decided to step off the stage before it exploded. And what's causing the panic? Allegedly, Diddy is sitting on a vault of digital dirt that could sink careers. And Jake might be caught in a few of those snapshots. We're talking screenshots, audio clips, maybe even videos from those infamous parties that have become whispered legends. Monique claims Diddy kept everything, not just for nostalgia, but for leverage. Now that he's drowning in lawsuits and people are jumping ship, he might start using that leverage. And that's when the panic sets in. Because if Monique's right, Diddy isn't just holding embarrassing footage, he's holding power. Power over people with squeaky clean images, massive followings, and million-dollar brands. People like Bishop TD Jakes, who spent decades building a reputation as a strong, clean-cut spiritual leader. The last thing someone like that wants is to be linked in headlines with words like freak, lawsuit, or federal investigation. But there's more. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, recently stepped up, and when he talks, people listen. This isn't some background figure or distant assistant. He was there on the front lines, watching who showed up, who stayed, what went down. Now, he says TD Jakes wasn't just attending Diddy's parties, he was actively participating. That's a whole different level. It's one thing to shake hands, take a quick video, and leave. It's another thing to be involved in what was happening behind those velvet ropes. Gene's words carry weight because he's speaking from first-hand experience. When someone on the inside points fingers, people stop scrolling and start paying attention. And the timing? It's wild. Jakes retires quietly. A week later, Diddy faces a tidal wave of legal trouble. The internet buzzes. Old videos resurface. Suddenly, the story isn't about spiritual growth or rest. It's about what's being left unsaid. Even Jake's own response added fuel to the fire. Instead of a firm denial, he leaned into a sermon about repentance. He said, "Even if it was true, the blood of Christ would cover it." Then he added, "But I ain't got to repent about this." Honestly, that confused a lot of people. If it never happened, why bring up forgiveness? It felt like a weird halfway confession, asking for grace without admitting guilt, and that silence. That specific silence where you expect someone to say, "I didn't do it," but instead they dance around the edges. That silence speaks louder than most sermons. People weren't just unsettled. They were straight up suspicious. It felt like a man bracing for the worst, hoping the storm would pass him by. So now the conversation has shifted. It's not just about whether Jake went to the party. It's about whether he was part of what went down there. Did he know the truth behind the scenes? Because if he did, and if June Deal and Monique are both telling the truth, then stepping down was the only option left. TD. Jake isn't just a preacher. He's a brand, a business, a whole movement. We're talking books, conferences, movie, deals, merch, and way more. His name equals money, and any crack in that flawless image could make the entire empire wobble. His team knows it. He knows it. That's exactly why the messaging had to stay squeaky clean. No direct mentions of Diddy. No messy interviews. Just a smooth exit while the heat was still a block away. But that fire's spreading fast. People are now digging into everything. Old interviews, dusty Instagram posts, guest lists from Diddy's events. All being dissected like digital detectives. Because when something smells off, the internet's going to sniff around until it finds the source, and as we edge closer to Diddy's court date, that buzz is only growing louder. The trial? It's not just about Diddy anymore. It's about everyone around him. Anyone who partied, anyone who kept quiet, anyone whose name might be on one of those alleged files. It's a domino effect. One falls, the rest start tipping. That's why T.D. Jake's sudden retirement isn't being accepted at face value. Not by critics, not even by longtime fans. Because it doesn't feel like a peaceful goodbye. It feels like someone slipping out the back door before the flood hits. So here we are, smack in the middle of a storm that's growing bigger every day. What started as a quiet retirement from a respected pastor has spun into something way bigger. It's got church pews buzzing, timelines flooding, even the most loyal followers squinting suspiciously. Because, let's be honest, T.D. Jake stepping down the same week Diddy's trial is about to start? That's not just suspicious timing. It's damn near cinematic. Now, let's break down what's really fueling this wildfire. Diddy's legal mess isn't your typical celebrity scandal. We're talking layers upon layers of accusations, lawsuits, even potential federal charges that could drag in anyone remotely connected to him. Names are flying, lawsuits stacking up, and what's terrifying for Diddy's inner circle, it's not just about what they did, it's what Diddy has on them. Monique wasn't kidding when she said Diddy's got receipts. She's making it clear. If he feels betrayed, if he's backed into a corner, he might just hit the detonator on a vault full of digital blackmail. Screenshots, hidden camera footage, voice notes, emails, and that's not just a bad look. That's career-ending, empire-shattering, ministry-crushing level damage. The people who might be in those files? They know it. That's why, according to the streets, some of them are going ghost. T.D. Jake stepping down might just be the beginning. Rumor has it, he's not simply retiring. He's allegedly prepping to flee the country. Folks say he's already making moves. Quiet meetings, private flights, bailing on events he'd normally. Headline without question. Some even claim he's got a team working non-stop to scrub certain connections off the internet. One day, he's the face of a mega church. The next, he's a disappearing act. It's all moving way too fast to be normal. That brings us back to Gene Deal. When he said Jake wasn't just at the party, he was actively participating, people stopped scrolling. This isn't just gossip. This is a first-hand claim from the guy whose job was literally to watch the room. That flips the whole narrative. It's no longer about maybe being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's about whether Jake was living. Two lives, one holy, one hedonistic, a man preaching sin on Sunday but partying with sinners on Saturday night. The cognitive dissonance? It's wild, because if T.D. Jakes, a man famous for sermons on discipline, faith, and integrity, was really out there rubbing elbows at parties known for their anything-goes energy, then you have to ask, how much of what we saw was real? How much of that polished image was just branding, not belief? And here's where it gets even messier. When the Christian Post reached out to Jake's camp, the response was polished, corporate, and cautious. They said it was a one-time visit, business meetings, that he was just in L.A. for work. But that explanation, it only satisfied the people desperate to believe him. For everyone else, it felt like a smokescreen. Because even if it was just one party. Why that party? Why did he, of all people, show up? Why attend a birthday bash known for chaos when your entire ministry is built on values that stand in total opposition? You don't just walk into a lion's den by accident. You either don't know what's inside or you just don't care. And in this case, nobody's buying ignorance, especially not from a man as media-savvy and calculated as TD Jake. Plus, the internet never forgets. The moment those videos resurfaced, Jake smiling at Diddy's bash, clips of his sermons preaching redemption, that awkward church speech where he said the blood covers all sin. It was game over. The contradictions were way too loud, like the public watched the whole facade crumble in real time. Now, the anticipation is brutal. Diddy's trial isn't just about him anymore. It's about everyone who stood beside him. People are waiting, phones in hand, clips bookmarked, ready to see who else might get named, because this isn't just a celebrity scandal, it's a reckoning. If Monique is right, if Gene Deal is telling the truth, and if those files really exist, we're staring down a domino effect unlike anything seen in a long time. And Jake, he's right in the blast zone. Whether guilty of something or just guilty by association, he knows the heat is way too close. That's probably why he's stepping away from the spotlight. Not to rest, not to write another book, but to disappear quietly before the flames reach the altar. And honestly, that's what's got everyone talking the most. Not the party, footage, not the lawsuit name drops, not even the rumors. It's the silence. That strategic, rehearsed, lawyer-approved silence that doesn't deny, doesn't confess, but just tries to survive. So now, we wait. For the court date, for the leaks, for the receipts, for the moment this whole thing finally blows wide open when we find out who's been wearing a mask and who's been partying with the devil in plain sight. If you're still here, still watching, still wondering, buckle up, because the storm is only just getting started.